In this video, we will be talking about the core node types in Nuke. These are the essential building blocks you will use in every project, and understanding them is key to becoming a better compositor. Before we get started, let's quickly talk about what nodes are. In Nuke, nodes are like individual instructions or tools. Each node does one specific task, like color correction, transformation, or merging layers. When you connect these nodes together, they form a node tree, which is basically your whole composition. Nuke has lots of different nodes, but today we are going to focus on the core node types you will use the most. These include merge node, transform node, blur node, grade node, roto node, and last is constant node. So if you select this all nodes and press L in a node graph, you can see that we can arrange our nodes by pressing L. Select all the nodes and press L. First up is the merge node. So this is one of the most important nodes in Nuke because it allows you to combine two or more images or layers together. The merge node has two main input, A and B. Think of it like Photoshop's layer. So the A input is placed on top and the B input is placed below. If you imagine this in Photoshop, you can choose how to blend them using different operation. As you can see, like over, plus, multiply. We will talk about all the operations in a separate video later in this module. You will use the merge node in almost every project, so get comfortable with it. The next is transform node. As the name suggests, this node is used to move, rotate, scale, or skew your image. With the transform node, you can change the position of your image, scale it up or down, or rotate it to fit your composition. It's perfect for tasks like repositioning, aligning elements, or adjusting scale when needed. Next, we have blur node. This one is pretty straightforward. So it's used to add blur to an image basically. So if I just preview it and double click on it, you will see, just a second. Yeah, you can control the amount of blur with the size slider. As you can see, blurs are useful for creating depth of field effects, softening edges, or hiding unwanted details in a shot. It's simple but powerful tool. So the next is grade node. So if I connect the grade node in view, this is one of the most important nodes for color correction and adjusting the brightness and contrast of your footage. So as you can see, with the grade node, you can control how light or dark different parts of your image are. You can adjust settings like uh, black point and white point and gamma to make your shot look exactly how you want. So to get this white point setting back to normal, just press Ctrl and left click, and then it will be set to default. Or you can just right click here and set knobs to default. You will use this node a lot when you are trying to match colors between shots or stylize your footage. Next up is roto. So roto, we have a specific module for rotoscopy. This is used for creating custom shapes and masks in your composition. So with the roto node, you can draw shapes directly onto your footage to isolate specific areas. This is perfect for tasks like rotoscoping, masking, or adding effects to certain part of the image. You can even animate these shapes over time to follow objects in the scene, which is super useful for things like tracking or removing unwanted elements. I will explain this whole node and the settings in module 3. Then the last is constant node. So this we don't need any footage. Uh, this node creates a solid color image which can be super useful for adding backgrounds or filling in empty areas. You can adjust the color and size of the image directly in the nodes property. So If I double click on it, you can see the color. You can change it from here, or you can just press left click here, and you can change individual RGB channel, and you can change color. Or what you can do is just press Control and left click on this color wheel, and you can use this all the sliders to change the color, or you can use this color wheel to change the color. It's simple but really handy when you need to create background plates or overlays. So these were the core nodes which we are going to use in our course. These nodes form the backbone of most compositions in Nuke, and we will be using them constantly. In this video, we are going to cover a very important topic, especially for those of you who are just starting out with Nuke. We will be talking about the difference between nodes and layers in compositing. If you have worked with software like Photoshop, you might be used to layers. But in Nuke, we use something different, nodes. So what's the difference and why does Nuke prefer nodes over layer? Let's find out. Let's start with something familiar. Uh, so layers. If you have used software like Photoshop, After Effects, or even Premiere Pro, you have probably worked with layers, as you can see. In a layer-based workflow, you stack images or effects on top of each other. You can control each layer individually, and you can decide which layer is in front or behind, like building a sandwich. This works great for simpler projects. In a layer-based system, each element of your project, whether it's an image, text, or effect, sits on its own layer. To apply changes, you usually have to work with each layer separately. If you want to make adjustment to something in the middle of your stack, you may have to go back and tweak the layers above and below. Now let's talk about nodes. So in Nuke, we don't stack things on top of each other. Instead, we connect nodes in a node tree. Each node is responsible for a specific task, like merging two images, or like doing grading, or or let's say color correction, or like keying out the background. Instead of stacking, we create a flow of actions. You connect one node to another, and the data flows through each node in a specific order. It's a bit like following a recipe where each step depends on the previous one. This makes nodes more flexible and non-linear compared to layers. In a node-based system like Nuke, you can easily adjust any part of the composition without affecting everything else. Let's say, uh, let's say you want to change the grading here. So if I just come here and if I disable it and enable it, I can add another grade node here and just wait. I think I have not connected it. Yeah, I have to connect this here. So if I added grade node, I want to change some setting, I can do changes here, as you can see. And if I don't like it, I just simply delete it. So you can do that without worrying about messing up other parts of the composition, right? Like you can see my node tree, how big it is. So that's because each node operates independently, but still connects to the flow of the composition. This makes it easy to make changes, backtrack, and try different ideas without starting over. So why does Nuke use nodes instead of layers? The biggest reason is control and flexibility. With nodes, you can create complex, non-linear compositions that are much harder to manage with layers. In layer-based systems, it's easy to lose track of what's happening as you stack more and more layers. Like you see in this matte painting, you can see there are so many layers. So it's not easy to make changes in this layer, in this matte painting here. But if I open this same matte painting in new, you might think that this is hard to make changes, but it's so easy. Like in Photoshop, like I have divided the layers like fog or trees or mountain 1, M3, M2. So here I got the same layers, right? M5, M4, and I can make changes by just applying nodes here and deleting them if I don't like. So it's easy. You can see exactly how each element interacts with the others, and you can make changes at any point without affecting the whole composition. So, for example, in a VFX or compositing work, you often deal with multiple elements like green screen footage, 3D renders, backgrounds, and special effects. In Nuke, each of these can have its own branch in the node tree, making it easy to keep things organized and modular. That doesn't mean that layers are bad. Layers are great for simpler projects like photo editing or basic motion graphics. But when you are working on more complex tasks like VFX, color grading, or 3D compositing, nodes gives you the control and flexibility you need. Think of it like this. If you are working on a small, quick project, layers might be faster and more useful. But if you are building something complex where you need to experiment and make changes easily, nodes are your best friend. So, to wrap things up, here's what we have learned today. Layers stack images or effects on top of each other, and they are great for simple linear compositions. Node connects in a flow, giving you more control, flexibility, and the ability to handle complex and non-linear workflows. Right? Uh, Nuke uses nodes because it's built for high-end compositing and VFX work, where you need maximum flexibility and precision. In this video, we will focus on how to connect and organize nodes in Nuke to make our workflow cleaner and more efficient. Whether you are working on a simple composite or a complex shot, organizing your node tree is essential. So let's start with connecting nodes. In Nuke, nodes are connected from top to bottom. You can think of it like water flowing down a pipe. Each node feeds into the one below it. To connect nodes, click and drag from the output of one node to the input of another, or you can do vice versa. The arrow shows the flow of information, and you will see a line connecting them. So let me show you an example. I have an image here, and I want to connect it to color correction node. So what I can do, either I can drag the output of image to the input of color correction, or I can drag the input of color correction to the output of image. By this way, I can connect both the nodes. Or another way of connecting the node is to just press connect the input of viewer to image or output of image to the viewer, or just press 1 as I told you and just drag this and it will be connected automatically. Now whatever changes I make in the color correction node will affect my image, as you can see. So if you want to disconnect this node, you can just select the node and press Ctrl Shift and X and it will disconnect it. The order in which you connect nodes matters. For example, if I add a blur node after this color correction node and I just increase the blur size, let's say 100, the image will be color corrected first and then blurred. But if I switch the order, so if I select all this and press Alt C, so Alt C to duplicate things, and if I just switch the order like first blur and then color correction, and if I press 2 here and 1 here, you can see there's a little bit difference. So the image will be blurred first and then color corrected, which gives a different result. As you can see, there is a little bit difference. So the node flow is important. Think about what needs to happen first and what comes after. Now let's talk about keeping things tidy. So as your node tree grows, it can get messy. Uh, that's where organization comes in. To help organize, Nuke has something called backdrop node. A backdrop node is basically a colored box that you can put behind a group of nodes so you know what they do. So let's say that these nodes are for color correction, and I want to add a name, or let's say I want to differentiate them. So I will just either I can select all of them and then press tab and search for backdrop, or I can just press tab anywhere and type a backdrop. So as you can see now, I have differentiated uh, these nodes separately. So then I will drag the nodes inside it, or I can drag the nodes outside them like this. And if I want to just take all the nodes somewhere else, so I don't have to always select all the nodes and then drag them. Can just select the backdrop node and drag them anywhere I want. So I can also name it, like double click on it, and then in label area just type whatever the nodes are working for. So if I type color correction, I can also just increase the size here, as you can see. And if you just want to arrange the backdrop node, you can, as you can see now, if I arrange it, the nodes will also move. So if you just only want to adjust the backdrop node, just press Control and then click, and you can now only select the backdrop node. You can also change the color of this backdrop node. Just go to this color icon and just color it from here or here, anywhere you want. Now when I look at my node tree, I know exactly what each section is doing. If I have a huge node graph, for example. So one more trick for organizing is dot nodes. So if I just uh, duplicate this, Alt C, and I connect one, and if I just take merge node and a roto node, let's say. So, and you can see I have this also this input bg1, and I have connected. So now bg1 and bg are overlapping, and what if I want only to disconnect the bg1, and it's like I have to disconnect them all first and then connect it. So when you have many connections crossing each other, it can be confusing. So to keep things clear, you can add dot nodes. So these are small dots that you can place in the node graph to reroute or organize the connection. So just press full stop key on your keyboard and you will get this node. So I can just connect the BG here and BG1 to this, and then this to the my original plate. And if you press Control, you can add more dots also, like this and like this. So this way your lines are neatly organized and easy to follow. So you know exactly that, yeah, BG1 is taking input from the original image, BG is also taking input from original image. Or you can do one more thing, you can add a dot node here and you can just connect them here and keep the original image or footage separate. So as you can see the flow, as I was talking about, you can see the arrow. It's coming from it's coming from top, and then it's like making channels here for BG1, BG, and merge node. So to wrap things up, I would just say that by staying organized, you will save a lot of time and headaches later on, especially in big projects.